So, welcome. We are joining here in lovely southern Baja. I know some of you are in warm places around the world. We know we have some people coming in from Australia and from New Zealand. Welcome. And to those of you that are up in colder climates, all my Montana and Colorado friends and around, I hope you can catch some of the warm, sunny vibes that we're beaming you into your homes this morning as you join us. So welcome. This is going to be a hour-ish, all levels flow to get us kick-started this morning during this fun Soulcraft workshop. So go ahead, if you're not already, go ahead and come to your mats. We're going to start in child's pose. So you want to bring your big toes together. Knees can come hip distance or maybe a little bit further apart. And then just go ahead and reach the hands forward along your mat and let the head hang heavy between the upper arm bones. And as we arrive here on our mats today, just bring your attention to the breath. Letting gentle inhales and exhales fill the space of the belly. And also filling the space of the ribs and the back of the body. And I want you to bring your awareness to the base of the spine, to the sacrum area, and really send this deep inhale in there. And exhale out. And then let the awareness begin to come up the spine, inhaling in to the space of the middle of the back, and exhaling out. Continue up the spine, inhaling in to the space of the back of the ribs, between the shoulder blades, and exhale out. And letting the next inhale travel up through the neck. Exhale, release. Continue the breath through the top of the head. And on the exhale, come to rest the awareness on the space where the brow meets the mat. So that space between the eyebrows. Breathing in with a couple deep, aware breaths into this space that is our third eye. And so we come into yoga class oftentimes, whether or not we've done a lot of practices or maybe just a couple, with this awareness of the third eye. It's something that gets talked about quite often in yoga practice. And it's said, this space right here between the eyebrows, to be this gateway to consciousness. We've all have some notions of what consciousness means, but I really like this awareness of who you are and how you show up. And whether or not we are a yogi or not, we all probably have some understanding of why increased consciousness is important. It's really good to be able to have a better understanding of not just how we are showing up in the world, but how we're affecting other people in the world, and how that our space and our role and the way that we show up has that ripple effect out into the world. But it's important to know, bringing your awareness back to that third eye, that some yogis somewhere along the line just didn't decide someday that this space between your eyebrows looked enlightened. Let's make that the seat of consciousness. But it's really cool to think that this space right behind your forehead is actually the part of your brain that governs consciousness. It's your prefrontal cortex. And this is part of what's called your new brain, because it's responding to the stimulus around you in your life in a way that's awake, in a way that's conscious, rather than showing up through a habituated pattern. So take a moment here to just acknowledge that space of the brain. And then bending at the elbows and bringing the hands around to the back of the neck. Just take a second here to give yourself a little massage, maybe using the thumbs and the fingers to rub circles down the neck, and then interlace the fingers and just let them rest at that space where the neck plugs into the base of the skull. Taking a moment here to inhale in, bringing your awareness to that space, and exhale out. So for contrast, this is where our subconscious lives, and this is also known as our old brain. So this space is really important because it actually keeps us alive. It has a very important function to serve when we are scared or when we are challenged. This is the part of our brain that wakes us up and gets us to move. It's the origin of our fight or flight. It's also responsible for the way that we show up without thinking. It governs how we act and think and feel when we're just going through the motions. So resting here with your hands at the base of your skull, take some time to breathe into the front space of your brain where the third eye is, and exhale, send that energy to the back of the skull where your subconscious is. Let these breaths, these inhales and exhales oscillate between the front of the head and the back of the head. And as you're doing that, I want to leave you with something that I find incredibly fascinating, which is that this front part of your brain, this consciousness, can process 40 nerve impulses a second. So our life, the way that we show up in our life, our brain is processing all of that as nerve impulses. And this part of our brain processes 40 a second. It's kind of incredible to think about. But this space just under the base of your hands, the subconscious, can process 40 million a second. So 40 to 40 million. So why talk about consciousness right now? Well, first of all, for those of you who know me and for those of you who don't, science is cool. And second, this illustrates something that I think so many of us are probably feeling at this point in the year. We're almost a month into the new year. That oftentimes we come into the new year with this surge of energy and this surge of consciousness about how we show up in the world and what we want to do differently this year. And a few weeks in, maybe we're finally starting to feel the rub of, hey, this is actually pretty hard. Well, this awareness, this subconscious to conscious awareness illustrates that goals are really hard because we're having to use a part of our brain to counter another part of our brain that's 1 million times stronger. So take a moment there just to acknowledge the fact that your brain is pretty cool and pretty strong, and honor this journey and this process that we're on to show up more consciously in the world. It's not just that easy to decide that you want to be more conscious. It's windy here. My block literally just flew across the thing. Okay, so go ahead and release the hands back down to the mat in child's pose, and then walk the hands up, finding an easy seat. You might just be sitting on the heels, you might cross the legs, and bring your hands down to the top of the thighs and close your eyes. And I want you to think, for this one class, what would happen if we let go of goal setting entirely? Closing your eyes, take a moment here. I want you to imagine the best version of you possible. Take a second to feel into that. Noticing where in your body you went when I mentioned the best version of you possible. Did you go to your head? Did you go to your heart? See if you can start to draw the awareness into that part of you that feels bubbly, that feels effervescent at reconnecting with the best version of you possible. And grow the awareness there. Let the inhales and the exhales grow the energy around that space in you that's reconnecting with your purpose, with your values, and see if you can get even more detailed in what it is about you right now that's showing up, that's yearning to be heard as the best version of you. What are you doing? Who are you with? What do your days feel like? What lights you up? See if you can take that broad picture of the best version of you possible and distill it down to a quality or an emotion or a word that feels particularly resonant to you in this experience. Who are you as the best version of you possible? I am what? And go ahead and bring the hands to the heart center. Taking a moment to draw that I am into the heart space. Deep inhales in, letting the heart rise up to meet the thumbs. And exhale, with each exhale, feel that truth really ground into every fiber of your being, because this is who you really are. It's time to let go of any part of you that doesn't believe it. What if realizing who we wanted to be was as simple as breaking free of this subconscious patterning of our old soul and realizing not just who we want to be, but this beauty of who we already are in this moment of already happened and not yet. When we rest in this space of in-between, we have an opportunity to come back online, where typically in New Year's, we're focused on what it is that we're going to do different. Let that go. Come back to now. Come back to who you are, and let that be what wakes you up in the in-between moments of today's class. Go ahead and let the eyes open, and we'll reach the hands in front of you. Hands underneath the shoulders, we'll meet up in tabletop. So you might want to stretch one leg back and then the other, letting the knees open up after seated for a few moments. And then bring the knees hip distance apart. Tuck the toes under here and really push back through the toe mounds of the feet so that you can feel that brightening through the soles of the feet and up through the legs. Push down through the hands and feel that space spread apart between the scapula. And exhale, let the heart come down a little bit. And then find a neutral spine where you're feeling both an opening across the back and a brightness in the heart. Take an inhale in. And then exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine. So you're here in a very neutral tabletop. Good. Inhale in, let the belly fall down, tilt the tailbone back, and bring the heart and the gaze forward. Maybe just a little bit this morning as we're waking up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, chin towards the chest, belly rises. Inhale, drop the belly, traction the hands back towards the knees and let the heart open forward, gaze up. Exhale, tuck the tail, belly up. Moving through cat-cow here for a few more rounds of breath at your own pace. And as you're breathing here and moving from cat to cow, get very curious about this in-between space. See if you can use the breath to draw openness and space between each of the vertebrae, between each of the parts of the spine. Good, and then go ahead, finish up one more round. Super juicy. And then come back to a neutral spine. Again, pushing down through the hands, feel the scapula spread, take an inhale in. Exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine and push down through the toe mound so much that the knees come to hover. Taking a moment here to breathe in this space of in-between, where you might begin to feel gravity working against you slightly. Breathe, keep the quality of the breath present around your I am, even in this moment, maybe of coming into trembling and of shaking. And then exhale, send the hips up and back, down dog. Good, breathing in here to the low back. Exhale, sink the hips and the heels. Inhale in, exhale out. Bringing the awareness to that space between the shoulder blades. Inhale and puff up there and roll your spine forward to a plank. Letting the gaze come forward, maybe 6 or 8 inches in front of the mat. Exhale, lift the hips, come back. Inhale, roll forward. Full length of the breath to get you there. Exhale, hips up, send it back. Inhale, roll the spine forward, moving through the vertebrae one at a time to find length from the top of the head to the heels. Exhale back. Good. Take a moment here to breathe in, I'll come up onto the toes. Exhale, soften the knees, gaze forward, and slowly walk to the top of the mat. Feet come hip distance apart. Bend through the legs, bring the belly to the thighs, and just hang here over top of the legs. Fingertips can touch the mat. You might grab bicep to bicep. You might sway side to side. And in this space, since our awareness, the prefrontal cortex is near the feet, take a moment to check in with the feet here. So really ground down into all four corners of the feet, feeling that stability here even in a forward fold. And then release the hands down to the mat, rolling up through the spine one vertebrae at a time. Slowly making your way up. Reaching the top, inhale the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, let them glide down the back. One more time, inhale up. Exhale out. Good. Inhale, we'll sweep the arms up high. And exhale, fold at the hips, coming all the way forward into a standing forward fold. Maybe bending at the knees still early in the morning. Inhale, we'll lengthen through a flat back, bringing the hands to the shins perhaps if needed. And exhale, melt. Plant the hands, step back through plank. Take a moment here in plank to inhale, press down through the palms. Keep that, send the heart forward, and then exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Good. Tops of the feet press. Dial the pinky toes down. Exhale the air out fully. And on an inhale, press down through the pubic bone and lift the head and the heart off the mat. Exhale, melt. Inhale up. Exhale, melt. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, melt. Press down through the hands, tuck the feet. Inhale, come up through tabletop. Exhale, back through child's pose. Inhale to tabletop, tuck the toes. And exhale, meet back in down dog. One rounded breath here. Inhale. Exhale out. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale and bend the knees, gaze forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Big toes come to touch. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, melt. Inhale, reverse all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Flowing through that 2 more times. Inhale, up. Exhale, melt. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Inhale and plank, push down through the hands, send the space of the heart forward, and exhale all the way down to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra, just one time. Exhale, release. Inhale, up to tabletop, tuck the toes, and exhale back through down dog. Breathing in and out. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, soften the knees, gaze toward the front of the mat, step or hop forward. Big toes touch. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, melt. Inhale, reverse all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Final time, just the breath cues. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale to plank. Inhale, press. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful. Take a moment here to breathe in. Come up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees down to the mat. Sit back into child's pose, letting the third eye rest again on the space of the mat. So here in the space of child's pose, can you take a moment to connect back in with that best version of you? And more succinctly, that I am statement. And as we depart from these basic flows and move into some different postures, can you take a moment to just trust in the process and know that your body knows all of these postures that we're going to be going through. You've been there before. But this practice isn't about the postures. It's about this space in between and how are you showing up. Can you, as we move through these next couple of flows, continue to bring more of yourself online and use this as an opportunity, as a testing ground, as a canvas for you to show up with who it is that you are. Those bits of you that are wanting to give to the world, that are wanting to be nurtured. Can you use all of these moments and space of in-between to pay attention, to send the breath there? Inhaling, coming back up to tabletop. Exhale, we'll send the hips back to down dog. Inhale, come up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze to the front of the mat. Step or hop forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, melt. Inhale, reverse all the way up. Exhale, melt right back down. Inhale, raise the right leg, standing on the left. And exhale, bring the knee down to the mat behind you. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, turn the palms out and find a clasp with the low back. Inhale, draw the clasped hands down the back of the leg, opening up the heart. Exhale, stay. Inhale in. Exhale out. Tucking the toes under if they're not already. Let the next inhale bring the back knee up. And then exhale, sweep the arms forward. Inhale up. Exhale, crescent. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, pressing down through that front foot, lifting through the fingertips. Exhale, soften. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, soften. This time staying. One last inhale, reach. Exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, step the left leg back and up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, low lunge, drop the back knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, palms out, find a clasp with the low back. Exhale the air out fully, and then let the inhale lift the heart open and draw the hands down the back of the left leg. Exhale, stay. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, brings the back knee up. Exhale, release the hands, sweep forward. Inhale. Exhale, crescent. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, soften. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, soften. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, soften. Inhale, reach with the fingertips. Exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, come to stand on the right leg, left leg rises. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, melt. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, lower. Back knee down. Inhale, up. Exhale, palms out. Find a clasp. Inhale. Exhale, stay. Inhale, this time come right up into crescent. Exhale, sweep forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, come right back down. Step the right leg back and up. Exhale, plant the feet, down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep it forward, back knee down. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, hands out. Inhale, heart rises. Exhale, stay. Inhale, back knee comes up. Exhale, release the hands, sweep forward. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, frame the foot. Inhale, come to stand on the left leg. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through a flat back. Exhale, melt. Inhale, reverse all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center, and take a moment here to pause. Breathing in, lifting the heart to the thumbs, plugging the thumbs and the intention into the heart. And see if you can bring that breath all the way up to the top of the head on an inhale. Exhale, really root down into the mat. Get really strong in the breath on this vertical axis as you're breathing out the top of the head and rooting down through the feet. Getting really strong in who it is that you are in this practice. What do you stand for? Connecting back in with your I am as we deviate into another flow. Can you stay present in these spaces of in between? Can you trust that who you are is enough as we move through? Release the hands down to the side. Inhale up. Exhale, sink the hips, touch the fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we'll sweep the arms off to the right, gaze follows the hands, and inhale up. Exhale, gaze off to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, gaze off to the right. Inhale up. Last one, gaze off to the left. Inhale brings you to standing. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, step back. Inhale, plank. Exhale, move through your vinyasa, maybe moving into an up dog instead of cobra. Back through down dog. Beautiful. Inhale, come up onto the toes here. Exhale, drop both heels off to the right and press down through the left hand. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, drop the heels to the left, press down through the right hand. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, heels to right. Inhale, center. Exhale, heels to the left. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, sink the heels. Inhale, we'll sweep the right leg high. Exhale, bring it forward into a lunge, setting up the feet for warrior two. So feet are front heel to center of the back foot alignment, turning that back foot down. Finding that foundation with the right knee over the ankle, we'll windmill the arms up, finding a warrior two. Breathing in here and send the energy out long through the fingertips, pressing down gently and energetically through the back of the arms so you feel that lighting up of the arms. Wrapping that right hip back and down. Good. Inhale, flip the right palm over, reach forward, and exhale back, reverse warrior. Gaze can be up at the fingertips or down behind you on the mat if you're going for more of a passive stretch here. Good, and then inhale, come back up through center, warrior two. Exhale, right elbow to knee. Left arm comes up, maybe straight ahead, or reaches over. You can stay here with the arm extended. If you want to find a bit of a half bind, you can reach the arm behind you. Maybe the back of the hand finds the sacrum, or the top of the thigh, or the inside of the thigh. Staying with the breath. Releasing the bind if you were there, reaching the arm back up. Good. Inhale brings you back to warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended. basic flow. We've been here before. Inhale. Can you stay present in all of these in-between moments and get very curious about all of the spaces, everything that your body is doing to keep you present in this flow? How are you showing up? One last time. Two extended. And then inhale, come up through warrior two. Exhale, ground down. Inhale, straighten the right leg. And then exhale, turn both toes out to the side of the mat. Reaching the fingertips up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Bend the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up and wide. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Keeping the hands at the heart center. Inhale, straighten the legs. Hands come to hips. Turn the toes to face the side of the mat. And then exhale, take the hands right to that space in between the hips and see if you can use that as a reminder to edge forward, sending the hips back, the heart forward. Find length and tractioning through the spine into a flat back. Breathe here. Press down through the feet. Feel the sit bones spread wide and then melt forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Taking an arm variation here that feels appropriate to you. So it might just be to relax and hang forward. You might have some sort of I am that is a calm, a relaxation and abundance that is a more passive. You might have something that's a little bit more energetic. And if that's the case, you can reach the hands to the outside of the feet or choose some sort of an arm variation that feels a little bit more appropriate to how it is that you're wanting to show up. Good. Release the hands, coming back to center, inhaling through a flat back. Turn the opposite toes out and walk the hands around to the back side of the mat. Good. Beautiful. Breathing in here. Exhale, drop the back knee. Inhale, plant the right hand, sweep the left fingertips high. And exhale, reach back, finding a nice twist. You might want to kick that back foot up and receive it in the hand. And if that's the case, see if you can kick back into that hand and pull the hand back into the foot to get a nice opening here of the heart to the side wall or maybe even to the space above you. Finding a gentle twist. Staying with the breath. Good. Go ahead and release the hand back down to the mat. Tuck the toes under. Sweep the left leg high. And exhale, bring it down. Good. Breathing in. Come up onto the toes. Exhale, drop the heels off to the left. Inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, drop the heels off to the right. Inhale, toes. Exhale, left. Inhale, toes. Exhale, right. Inhale, toes. Exhale, sink the heels, find down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep it forward, setting up for warrior two. So left heel lines up with the center of the right foot, heel to center of the foot alignment, and then windmill the arms up. Finding warrior two. And taking a few moments here to connect back in with your I am. This is a warrior pose, one that's energetically inviting us to fight for the things that we care about. Can you layer on top of your I am in this moment the things that you care about, the things that light you up, that give you a sense of purpose, that make you want to jump off of this mat and go run to do your work in the world. Inhale, flip the left fingertips up and reach forward. Exhale, carry all that back into reverse warrior, letting the hand rest on the thigh or the calf, not the knee. Gaze can be up towards the fingertips or down at the mat. And take a moment here to make sure that you haven't backed out of that left leg, so you're still here in a warrior two stance with the low body. Good. Inhale comes back up through warrior two. Exhale over to extended. Good. You can stay here with the fingertips straight up or reaching to the front of the mat, or maybe you take that half bind variation, bringing the hand to the sacrum or the top of the thigh. Finding your expression. And then releasing if you found a bind, bringing the arm back up. Good. Inhale back through warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended. Flowing back and forth between these two poses. A simple flow, but an opportunity to check in these simple moments where we tend to turn off, where we tend to go on autopilot. Really take this opportunity to get curious about all of this space in between. One more time, each side, coming up, reverse, and up. Extended. Beautiful. Inhale, come up through warrior two, straighten through the front leg, and then turn the toes out, fingertips reach up. Exhale, hands down through heart center, bend the knees. Inhale, lengthen, take up space. Exhale, bend the elbows and the arms. Inhale, reaching wide. Exhale, sit. Last time, inhale up, exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, straighten the legs, turn the toes to face the side of the mat, hands to the hips, and using the hips as a guide, send them back, folding at the crease here, and using the hands there as a point to traction the hips back and extend the head forward, finding length in each of the vertebrae, sending the heart out and off of the mat. And then exhale, fold forward. Again, taking Prasarita Padottanasana on this side in a way that feels relevant to you, in a way that mirrors the quality of your thoughts and the quality of your movements. Using the breath as a guide, sending the inhales and the exhales into the body where they need to go. Inhale, coming back with the hands under the shoulders, finding a flat back, turning the right toes out and walking the hands around back to the front of the mat. Dropping the left knee down, we'll plant the left hand. Inhale, sweep the right fingertips forward and up. Exhaling them around. Good. Maybe staying here in this gentle twist. Maybe kicking that left foot back up and catching it with the hand. Good. And again, if you found this variation with the foot in the hand, try to kick the foot back gently into the hand and pull the hand back into the foot so that you can open up the space of the heart towards the side of the room or maybe towards the space above you. Good. We'll release the hand. Letting the right hand come back around, tucking the toes under, sending the right leg back and up, taking a nice gentle stretch, and then exhale with the right foot down to meet the left. Good, breathe in here, exhale out, inhale up onto the toes, exhale, soften the knees, gaze towards the front of the mat, and step or hop forward. Heel toe the feet out wide all the way to the outside edges of the mat. Turning the toes out. Good, and sinking the hips. So here we come into Malasana. Another opportunity to explore the space in between because the mechanics of Malasana, so as you're sinking the hips, and if this is uncomfortable in your hips, you can sit up on a block or put a blanket underneath the heels. But go ahead once you've found your position and take the triceps to the insides of the thighs, bringing the hands to heart center. So we all have a tendency in Malasana to let the heart and the chest extend forward. And if you think about it, this is a very energetically depressed position with the upper body. We're not doing too much here and projecting ourselves out to the world. So to find more integrity in this posture, can you press the elbows back into the thighs and let the heart extend forward? And then press the thighs back into the elbows so you have a strong foundation and an open heart, even here in this engaged posture. Can you feel, can you sense into that in-between space at the back of the triceps and the inside of the thighs? And you might stay here if this is feeling good to you. If you like and you have crow in your practice, you can go ahead and explore that, keeping the hands, or releasing the hands, keeping the triceps where they are. You want to bring the hands down in front of you. Maybe scoot the feet together a little bit at the back. You might scoot, there's two different ways to do this. You might scoot the knees more up into the armpits, or you might just rest them on the back of the triceps. Either way is fine, depending on where you are in your practice. Scoop the elbows towards each other, send the heart forward, and feel for that space of the inside of the thighs pressing onto the triceps and the triceps pressing back. Lift one toe up and then the other, and extend the heart forward. So in this space of shaking and total engagement, can you still show up with an open heart and with ease and with a quality that reflects who you are? Good, go ahead and release out of that. Coming back into Malasana for a moment. And then send the hips up, straightening through the legs. Good. Exhale out, forward fold. Good. Inhale, reach all the way up with the fingertips. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Last moment standing here. Taking a moment to connect back in with what it is that you are, what it is that you stand for, and how you want to show up in the world this year. Good. Release the hands. Inhale, reach them up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, come up through a flat back. And then exhale, just walk the hands slightly forward and bring the knees down. Good. Crossing at the ankles and coming onto our backs. Actually, let's not come onto our backs yet. Let's do something up this way. I kind of want to do Ardha Matsyendrasana.
Perfect.
Great. Lovely. Okay, so let's move into Ardha Matsyendrasana. So the right foot will tuck in close to the hip. We'll take the left leg and cross it up and over. If you're feeling like this is taking some curvature into the spine and you can't really find your sit bones, sit up on a blanket. You can tuck a blanket or a towel here under the hips. Good. So you'll take the left hand to the base of the spine. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up. And then exhale without hooking anything. Just turn the belly off to the left. Good. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, turn the belly to the left. Inhale, find length, come back through center. Exhale, turn the belly to the left. Good. Stay here. Inhale, find length. And then exhale, maybe hug the leg in towards the chest. You might hook the elbow around, whatever variation feels appropriate to you today. And stay with that breath. So inhales, find length. Exhale takes you deeper into this twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Gaze slowly coming over that left shoulder. You might get far enough into the twist that you're really just energetically willing yourself further in here rather than actually moving the body. It might just be the eyes. Go ahead and release. Take a nice counter spin. And then we'll set up the other way. So left leg becomes the foundation. Tucking the left foot in close to the seat. Right leg crosses up and over. Plug the right toe mound down. Feel the sit bones into the mat. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, sweep the left arms up. Exhale, twist just in the spine. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Stay for this inhale and find length. And then exhale, choose a space for your arm to deepen this twist. Connecting back in with the breath as you inhale and lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Staying with this lengthening and deepening, using the breath as a guide and really being curious about the full range of your twist here. Maybe not physically with the spine and the hips, but maybe just through the eyes or maybe even mentally, seeing if you can imagine a deepening. Good. Releasing on an inhale. Exhale, counterspin. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Go ahead and take the soles of the feet about hip distance apart. Take the hands onto the back of the thighs. Press the hands into the back of the thighs and inhale, open the heart up. Exhale, feel the belly button pull towards the spine, curve the back, find a gentle C curve, tuck the chin to the chest. And then inhale, lengthen back, passing through a neutral spine, opening the heart. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine, heart extends. Exhale. And then inhale, find neutral. Exhale, maybe one foot comes off the mat. Maybe both feet come off the mat. You can stay here. You can release the hands towards the feet, taking your version of boat pose. Beautiful, breathing in, and then exhale, hands to the back of the thighs and just roll down onto the back, pulling the knees in towards the chest. Rocking from side to side. Good, beautiful. And then go ahead and come back to a neutral spine, placing the soles of the feet on the mat, tucking them in close towards the hips. If you have a block, an interesting variation here is to take the block between the knees as we're moving up into bridge pose. But otherwise, bring the awareness to the foundation here. So awareness into the feet. Plug down through all four corners of the feet, especially the big toe mounds. Press down through the hands, feel the whole back of the arm engage onto the floor, and exhale the air out fully. On an inhale, press down through the arms and the feet and begin to roll the vertebrae off the mat, one at a time. Coming up into bridge, feeling into the top of your vertebrae, and then exhale, roll right back down. Rolling each vertebrae back down onto the mat. When you reach the sacrum, inhale, roll back up. And exhale, roll down. One last time. Inhale, roll up. And exhale, we'll stay here. So if you're feeling comfortable here and this is it, this is great. If you'd like, you can clasp the hands underneath you and roll one shoulder blade back and then the other. And everybody bring your awareness to your glutes. So we have a tendency here to take this pose entirely into the glutes. See if you can relax there and find the engagement instead in that space where the hamstrings plug in to the top of the leg. This is easier on the sacrum for everybody that has low back issues, which is a lot of us. This is a really important pose to make sure that we're not clenching with the glutes and thus clenching around the sacrum. Good. Take one last inhale in, lifting the heart towards the chin, and then exhale, untuck the hands and the shoulders and roll down through the spine. Beautiful. Windshield wiper the feet side to side. Letting some movement come into the low back, shaking that off. Good. And then bring the knees up to the chest. Exhale, pull the knees in gently. Good. And the left foot will come down. The right leg will turn out. Flex through the right foot actively. You can stay here if that feels comfortable. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, bring the left foot up Again, flexing through that right foot to protect the knee. And you might stay here, or you can take the hands and interlace them around the belly of the hamstring, or even around the shin. Gently encouraging not just the right knee away from the face, but the right hip away from the shoulder so that you have length in the right side body. One more deep rounded breath here. And then if you have a grip with the hands, release the arms out to the side, keeping the left leg off the ground. And then drop the whole shape off to the left. So the right leg will come to stand. The left leg will become the foundation. Gaze can turn over the right fingertips. Moving into your variation here of a supine twist as we start to cool. And these cooling postures are equally as important as these heating postures. So much of the time when we think about living a life of purpose and we think about doing our work in the world, it's this very fiery, go-get-it energy. And we also have to respect the fact that sometimes it's important for our engines to cool. You need to sometimes turn the dial down, find that opportunity to rest. Take those moments to breathe. The inhales are just as important as the exhales. Good. Inhale, bringing the knees back up to the chest. Go ahead and switch the feet. Other foot comes down onto the mat. Left leg crosses up and over, flexing through the foot. You can keep the foot down onto the mat or bring it up. Good. Encouraging the knee away and flexing through that foot. And if you'd like to go deeper, interlacing the hands around the belly of the hamstring or the shin. Beautiful. Really giving your neck and your shoulders and your face permission to not be part of this. They are relaxed. They are soft. Send your breath instead into the space of the hips. And then release the arms out to the side. Deep breath in, and then exhale, let the full shape fall over to the right. Left sole of the foot comes to the mat. Gaze turns over the left hand. And see if you can bring awareness to the left side body here. So you're drawing the hip down and away from the face. Staying with the breath. Even in these cooling moments, can you still be connected into the pieces of you that you care about? Can you not treat these cooling moments as times of defeat or times of turning off, but as moments to re-energize? It's like that concept of pulling the bow back. That's when it's energized and when we're fighting, but it's just as intentional and part of the deal to relax the bow. Some people believe that holding on and hanging in there are these signs of great strength, but they're also great opportunities for burnout. It takes more strength sometimes to know when to let go. So can you let go? Can you surrender in this moment? Inhale, coming back up through center, hugging the knees in towards the chest. And then exhale, let the knees open, soles of the feet come together. Supta Baddha Konasana here for just a couple moments. Perhaps the arms come out to the side. Perhaps one hand comes to the heart and the other to the belly. So we're spending this morning focusing on igniting and of creating change and of really driving and unearthing and allowing our best selves to shine. But that doesn't mean that we're going to get it right all the time. Sometimes we're going to lose the plot, you know. But this again, bringing our awareness back to what we learned at the beginning of class of our subconscious versus our consciousness, this is really a bit of a power struggle that once we learn about it, we can begin to change it. So when our subconscious comes online, when we mess up and say, hey, actually, it was easier doing it the way you used to do it before, or hey, what about this old pattern that you had? Let's just go back to that. You have to be willing and brave and tenacious enough to say, hold the phone. Actually, I've got it. Let me just breathe and come back to who I am and what I know and start again. Breathing in here in Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe you want to stay for these final moments of class. Maybe you want to extend the legs out into your final Shavasana. But go ahead and keep one hand on the heart, maybe both hands on the heart. And I love ending classes with a brief bit of neuroscience that's applicable to Shavasana. So they say that before you go to bed, which is oftentimes a moment where many of us subconsciously fall into critiquing what happened in the day and what we wish had gone better and what we wish had happened differently, where we might have messed up. If we think about those things before we go to bed, we're patterning our brains in a survivalist way to be scared of those things and to hold ourselves back and to anticipate that those things are going to happen the next day. And now there's studies that have been done that show that if instead you take these opportunities before rest to think about the things that you care about, the things that you want to put your energy towards the next day or even in the year to follow, that's what your brain is going to remember, because when we go to sleep, our brain gardens and it holds on to the things that it feels that we need for survival and lets go of the rest. So in this moment of turning off, this moment of in-between of practice to Shavasana, can you take a moment here to get super clear about the things that you care about and plant them into your heart now? Really feel into that heart space. And as the breath begins to cool, as the Ujjayi and these deep inhales and exhales begin to fade away, can you just continue to let your awareness rest into that heart space, into the things that you care about? Maybe keeping your hands here, or maybe letting them fall to the side and still feeling into that heart space. And as the breath cools, you're feeling it move in and out, softer and softer around the heart. Taking these next few moments for your Shavasana. As you begin to bring some awareness back to the breath, do so in the way that we did just prior to moving into Shavasana, bringing the awareness to the heart, to the pieces that light you up, to the things that you care about most. And I want you to picture these as the small embers of a fire. As we play around today with this concept of igniting, it's important to think about the quality of igniting that's going to serve us the most. A lot of times when we think about igniting, we think about a fire. When we think about living a life of purpose, we think of this big fiery pursuit. When oftentimes the thing that we need the most is to care for and purposefully tend to these embers of the things that we care about the most. We choose what energy we put into it, and we safeguard other things from getting in the way of it. So with that gentle attention and loving kindness, can you bring the breath back to the space of the heart and use these inhales and exhales to wake up the embers of you, to breathe life into this bit of you that wants to ignite this year. Playing around perhaps with deepening the inhales and exhales, watching the reds and oranges and dancing colors of that embery flame begin to grow and maybe fall down. Feeling with each surge and dance of those flames, that trickle off and that reflection of what it is that you care about. Feel pride in that. Feel humbled by that and feel curious about that. And eventually let the breath expand beyond this space, moving it down into the feet, down into the arms, maybe finding gentle movements through the fingertips and the toes. And then just as you would when you wake up in the morning, take a good big stretch of the body. Reaching up through the fingertips and the hands and out through the toes. And then exhale, choose a side to roll off to, taking a moment here to pause. Staying calm with the eyes closed, use the arms to walk you up to a comfortable seated position. Good. Resting the hands down onto the thighs and a gesturing of acknowledgement of our inner wisdom and our strength of who we are. Take an inhale in, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale, glide them down the back, present the heart forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine, feeling that reach energetically out through the top of the head, and exhale, ground down through the sacrum. Inhale, reaching back out through the top of the head. And then exhale, let the breath rest in this space of the heart. Bringing your hands there, thumbs resting into the space of the chest and of the heart. Taking a moment here to acknowledge this opportunity to practice today, to play on our mats, to be curious on our mats, not just for ourselves, but in the company of an amazing group of women from all around the world who've been craving this opportunity and this space just as much as you have been. And in this moment, see if you can send a little bit of your practice and your acknowledgement and your love and support out into the world, out to these other women. And know that they're sending that, it's rippling right back to you. On an inhale, we'll bring the thumbs up to the third eye. Taking a moment to check back in with our consciousness, with that awareness of who we are, that appreciation for our mind, body, and soul that aligns to move us forward in the world. Breathing in, raising the elbows and the chin slightly. Exhale, we'll fold forward as we seal our practice today. The light in me honors that shiny, gorgeous, beautiful light in you. Namaste. All right, ladies, so take 5, go to the bathroom, fill up your coffee or your water or whatever you need to do, and then go ahead and come on back. We'll get ready to workshop here for the next hour and some change. And I also wanted to give a shout out to my beautiful friend Megan, who is joining me here in Baja and who's also joining us on the call today. We are really looking forward to seeing you in just a couple minutes. Okay.